The unexpected rain outdoors. Clouds roll in. The family is walking together when light rain begins. Dad looks up. Mom pulls the kids closer. The rain grows heavier. The family runs to take shelter under a large tree. Under the tree, they notice a small, soaked kitten, shivering. The kids crouch down gently, eyes wide with concern. Mom drapes her jacket over the kitten to keep it dry. Dad gently rubs its back. The rain stops. The family walks nearby with the kitten. A worried person runs into view, looking around anxiously. They spot the kitten, relief and joy. The person hugs the kitten and bows politely to the family. The person returns holding a basket of fresh fruit. They offer it with a grateful smile. The kids' eyes light up. Mom and Dad hesitate politely, then accept with smiles. The family walks home, sharing fruit happily. The kids laugh and munch. Dad sets a phone tablet on the counter and plays a cooking tutorial video. On the screen, a calm chef, spotless kitchen, smooth movements. Dad nods confidently. Dad looks at the screen, looks at the pan. On the video, neatly chopping vegetables. In real life, Dad chops. Vegetables scatter onto the floor. Dad glances back at the screen, still confident. On the video, low heat, no smoke. In real life, smoke fills the kitchen. The stove beeps, beep beep. Dad coughs and waves his hands, trying to fan the smoke away. Mom walks into the kitchen. She stops, silently observes. Messy counter smoke everywhere. Dad covered in splatters. The video still playing calmly. Mom crosses her arms, says nothing. Quick cuts, video screen, a perfect dish. Real life, a burnt pan and messy stove. Dad looks at the screen, looks at the pan, smiles awkwardly. Who's scared who? Bluey and Bingo peek from behind the couch, grinning mischievously. They put on silly ghost costumes, blanket plus paper eyes. The girls tiptoe dramatically. They giggle silently, covering their mouths. Dad walks by, relaxed, holding a snack. Bluey and Bingo jump out together. Arms up, ghost poses. Dad freezes, drops his snack. Trembles slightly. The girls exchange proud looks. Dad quietly grabs a blanket, turns off the lights, disappears. Bluey and Bingo look around, suddenly nervous. The room is silent. A shadow moves behind them. Suddenly, Dad jumps out wearing the blanket, making a big spooky pose. Bluey and Bingo scream silently and jump into the air. The girls run in circles. Dad chases them slowly, exaggerated and silly. Everyone slips and slides, but no one gets hurt. Bluey and Bingo hide behind Mom. Dad removes the blanket, laughing. The girls peek out, then laugh too. They all collapse onto the couch together.
The Great Canoe Race.
Hello.
Bluey and Bingo sat side by side on the sofa cushions. Each held a long broomstick as a paddle. All hands on deck! The Great Canoe Race is about to begin. Our brave sailors are ready to conquer the wildest river in the living room. Look out! Giant waves are crashing against the bow. Paddle harder, Bingo. We must stay afloat, or we'll be soaked by the blue blanket sea. Sharp rocks ahead! And wait! Is that a sea monster? Our crew works together, weaving through the dangers with perfect teamwork. Land ho! They've made it to the Golden Carpet shore. A record-breaking race for the fastest sisters on the water. What a grand finish.
The fish tank mistake. A fish tank sits neatly on a table. The fish swim happily. Dad sprinkles fish food carefully, nodding with satisfaction. Dad feeds the fish. Fish swim up excitedly. The kids press their faces to the glass, pointing. One day, Dad is busy. Mom picks up a white container that looks like fish food. Mom pours it into the tank. The water turns cloudy. Mom looks at the container again. Salt. Mom's eyes widen. The whole family springs into action. Dad gently moves the fish into a temporary bowl. Mom drains the tank. The kids carry buckets of water very seriously. Music speeds up slightly. Fresh water is poured in. The filter turns on. The fish are carefully returned to the tank. Everyone leans in, holding their breath. The fish start swimming again, happy and lively. The kids jump with joy. Dad exhales in relief. Mom smiles awkwardly and pats her chest. Our little vegetable garden. Mom holds a packet of seeds and points to an empty patch of soil. The whole family gathers around, nodding excitedly. Dad uses a shovel, swings too hard, dirt flies everywhere. Bluey giggles. Bingo digs carefully with a small trowel. Mom hands out seeds. Bluey sprinkles way too many in one spot. Bingo places them one by one, neatly. Dad drops the whole seed packet. Everyone looks at the pile and laughs. Bluey grabs the hose. Strong spray. Dad gets soaked. Dad freezes, dripping wet. Bingo gently adjusts the nozzle. Soft water flows. The family crouches, staring at the soil. Nothing happens. Bluey pokes the dirt, peeking inside. Mom signals, "Hey!" Tiny green sprouts pop up. Everyone's eyes widen with joy. The family harvests a small bunch of vegetables. Dad proudly lifts a bundle. Dirt falls everywhere. Mom laughs. Bluey and Bingo jump with excitement. Hiding too well. The whole family stands in a circle. Mom is blindfolded, facing the wall. Dad and the two kids look at each other, smiling mischievously. Dad runs off quickly and hides behind the curtain. The sister hides behind the sofa. The brother looks around, then crawls under the bed, pulling a blanket with him. Mom turns around and starts searching. Mom pulls the curtain. Dad is found. Mom peeks behind the sofa. The sister is found. The two who are found stand to the side, giggling. Mom looks around. The brother is missing. She searches everywhere. Behind the door, behind the chairs. In another room, nothing. They look under the table, behind the cabinets. Suddenly, a very soft snoring sound is heard. The whole family turns. Under the bed, the brother has fallen asleep, arms hugging a pillow, mouth slightly open. Mom and Dad look at each other, shake their heads in disbelief. The sister holds her belly, giggling.
Bluey and Bingo with stargazing on the grass. The sun has gone to sleep, and the backyard turns into a giant bedroom. A soft blanket, a few pillows, and the whole world feels quiet. The stars are like diamonds in the sky, scattered across the velvet blue. Each one tells a story from a million miles away. A shooting star! Quick, make a wish before you close your eyes. Something magical is about to happen in your dreams tonight. Look! Can you see the giant bone in the sky? The stars connect to form shapes and creatures that only our hearts can see. The night is warm, and the stars will watch over you. Sweet dreams, little explorers. The universe is waiting for tomorrow. The artistic mopping dance. Bluey sat on the floor, gleefully using rubber bands to tie 2 blue cleaning rags to the bottom of her roller skates. Bingo stood beside her, clapping and cheering. Cleaning time is here, but for Bluey, this isn't a boring chore. She is getting ready for a very special performance. The mopping dance begins! Bluey glides and spins, turning the floor into a stage full of shimmering soap bubbles. Her skillful glides make the floor sparkle in the blink of an eye. Helping Mom mop the floor has never been this artistic. Doing chores can also be a game full of joy. Bluey is ready for a squeaky clean home and lots of laughter.
The birthday cake. Mom hangs a few simple birthday decorations. Dad and the kids exchange a look and nod. Mission time. At a bakery. Dad carefully holds a cake box, the kids walking closely on each side. All three peek at the cake and smile excitedly. On the way home, almost there. Dad bumps lightly into a passerby. The cake box slips and falls. The lid opens. The cake is smashed and ruined. Everyone freezes. Inside the house. Mom turns toward them, smiling. Dad and the kids stand in front of her, empty-handed, looking guilty and sad. Mom looks surprised, then gently pats their heads. Knock, knock. Everyone turns. Dad opens the door. The same passerby stands there, holding a brand new birthday cake, even prettier than before. The family's eyes widen. The passerby hands over the cake with a warm smile. Mom covers her mouth, touched. The kids jump with joy. Dad exhales in relief and smiles. Dad holds the controller. The child holds a remote-controlled airplane. They look at each other, grinning with excitement. The airplane takes off, flying in circles, gliding past the sofa, looping around the light. The child points and cheers. Dad pilots confidently. The airplane flies lower and faster. Dad keeps twisting the control stick. The child runs after it, laughing. The airplane starts to lose control. From the kitchen, Mom walks out, carrying a tray of food. At that exact moment, the plane zooms in. Mom! It hits Mom's arm. The food tray tilts. Mom freezes. Dad and the child stare, eyes wide. They both turn and run as fast as they can. One runs ahead, the other follows. The airplane falls to the floor and lies still. Mom stands there, hands on her hips. She watches them run, then sighs, shakes her head, and smiles softly. The secret painting. A large sheet of drawing paper is spread out on the floor. Paints, brushes, and crayons are placed around it. Mom, Dad, sister, and little brother look at one another. Dad gestures a rectangle in the air. We draw together. Dad sits down at one corner of the paper. Using a brush, he paints a simple house. Lines a bit rough but solid. Mom chooses soft colors. She paints flowers, trees, and the sky. Each stroke slow and gentle. Sister picks bright colors. She draws smiling people, arms and legs a little long, full of lively expression. Little brother sits right down on the floor. With crayons, he draws a big sun, coloring outside the lines, smudging a bit. The family steps back a few steps, seeing the whole painting for the first time. The house is off-center from the sun. The trees are bigger than the people. Colors don't match, lines overlap. They look at one another and burst out laughing. Bluey and Bingo wave goodbye to Dad and head to school. They walk happily down the street. After a few steps, Bingo reaches behind her back. No backpack. Bluey notices and points. Bingo quickly pulls out a phone and makes a call. Back at home. Dad is sipping coffee. The phone rings. He listens, nods confidently, and taps his chest. I've got this. He rushes inside and grabs a backpack. Bluey and Bingo wait near the school entrance, a little worried. From afar, Dad runs toward them, out of breath, holding the backpack high. The kids relax. Bingo takes the backpack and opens it. Inside, adult clothes, a scarf, random items. Bluey leans in, then covers her mouth, giggling. Bingo freezes. Dad looks inside the bag, looks at the kids, realizes this is Mom's backpack. He scratches his head, embarrassed. The three stare at each other for a beat. They all burst into silent laughter. Making a small shelter for a cat. A gentle afternoon. A lost cat curls up under the porch roof. Dad bends down, using his hand to shield the cat from the rain. Mom looks at the sky, looks at the cat, nods with an idea. Dad brings out a large cardboard box. Mom lays a soft old cloth inside. Sister holds the box. Little brother passes the string and tape. Dad adds an extra cardboard layer at the bottom. Mom places the shelter close to the wall, away from the wind. Sister sets a small bowl of water in front. Little brother tiptoes over, gently placing a small towel inside. The whole family steps back, squatting down to watch. The cat walks closer, sniffs the entrance, pokes its head in, then crawls all the way inside. The cat curls up, lying still. The family looks at one another and smiles.
Helping Dad wash the car. A sunny morning at the Healer house. Dad Bandit prepares to wash the family car, but his assistants, Bluey and Bingo, are already standing by with sponges dripping in sparkling suds. The sound of rushing water joins a rhythmic dance. Bluey and Bingo turn car washing into a performance art, covering the vehicle in fluffy white bubble clouds. Mischief takes over. Bluey signals to Bingo, and in a moment of Dad's distraction, the hose meant for the car finds a new, much more exciting target. A water war erupts. The car is still covered in suds, but the three of them are soaked from head to toe. Hearty laughter fills the air, turning a chore into a priceless memory. The treasure hunt. The morning sun streams into the bedroom. Bluey carefully spreads a handmade map on the floor. Bingo clutches a small shovel, her eyes sparkling with excitement. The expedition begins. Bluey leads the way, fixed on the zigzag lines. They tiptoe across canyons of pillows and landmines of scattered blocks with great care. At the base of the old tree, Bluey signals to stop. She matches the drawing with the gnarly roots. Bingo starts digging, the soft earth turning over with every breath of suspense. Clink! An old tin box emerges. As the lid pops open, bottle caps shimmer like gems in the sun. Bluey and Bingo dance together in pure, unbridled joy.
The fish tank mistake. A fish tank sits neatly on a table. The fish swim happily. Dad sprinkles fish food carefully, nodding with satisfaction. Dad feeds the fish. Fish swim up excitedly. The kids press their faces to the glass, pointing. One day, Dad is busy. Mom picks up a white container that looks like fish food. Mom pours it into the tank. The water turns cloudy. Mom looks at the container again. Salt. Mom's eyes widen. The whole family springs into action. Dad gently moves the fish into a temporary bowl. Mom drains the tank. The kids carry buckets of water very seriously. Music speeds up slightly. Fresh water is poured in. The filter turns on. The fish are carefully returned to the tank. Everyone leans in, holding their breath. The fish start swimming again, happy and lively. The kids jump with joy. Dad exhales in relief. Mom smiles awkwardly and pats her chest. The secret camping trip. The two kids are fast asleep in bed. Mom and Dad look at each other and signal, "Let's go!" They tiptoe quietly, grab their backpacks, and sneak out of the house. Outside at night, Mom and Dad set up a small tent and turn on a warm yellow light. They sit across from each other, eating grilled food and laughing comfortably. Back at home, one child stirs and wakes up, looks at the other bed, empty. The two kids grab small flashlights and quietly sneak outside. From far away, they spot the glow of a tent light. They hide behind some bushes and peek in. They see Mom and Dad happily eating. The two kids look at each other and get an idea. They drape white cloths over themselves and shine flashlights upward from below. From behind the tent, spooky ooh sounds are made. Mom and Dad jump in surprise and turn around. Dad drops the food. Mom clings to Dad. Both panic and hurriedly pack up. Abandon the tent. Run back home. The kids pull off the cloths, giggling. They run after Mom and Dad. Broken window. A calm afternoon. A balloon floats gently in the air. The younger brother takes a run up and throws the balloon high. The balloon clips the edge of the window. Crash. The glass shatters, shards clinking as they scatter across the floor. The whole family freezes. Dad puts on gloves, carefully gathering each piece of glass. Mom lays down a large sheet of cardboard to cover the floor. The sister passes tape and a small broom. The younger brother hands over a cleaning cloth, stepping lightly. The last shard is placed into the bin. The family exhales in relief. Dad lifts the new glass panel, his hands slightly trembling. Mom holds the window frame, eyes focused. The glass slides perfectly into place. Dad tightens the screws. Mom checks the seal along the edges. Sunlight pours through the new window. The family looks at one another and smiles. The home cook-off. Mom is calmly cooking. Bluey and Bingo watch closely, eyes sparkling. Dad peeks in wearing an apron, upside down. Dad claps his hands excitedly, points at the counter, gestures, competition. Bluey and Bingo cheer silently, fists in the air. 3 chefs rush to grab ingredients. Bluey grabs everything at once, drops half of it. Bingo carefully selects just a few items. Dad secretly adds something strange, a toy carrot. Mom watches, amused. Dad tastes his dish, winces, adds more of the wrong ingredient. Each dish is placed on the table. Bluey's dish is huge and messy. Bingo's dish is tiny but neat. Dad's dish, slightly smoking. Mom raises an eyebrow. Mom tastes. Bluey's, surprised but impressed. Bingo's, eyes widen with delight. Dad's, long pause, polite smile, quick sip of water. Bluey and Bingo giggle. Mom points to all 3 dishes, gives a thumbs up. The family sits together, sharing food. Dad secretly swaps his plate with Bluey's. The big helper. Late afternoon at a campsite. The family unloads camping gear, tent, bags, food box. The kids run around excitedly. From the edge of the forest, a gentle elephant appears. One child holds out a banana/sugar cane. The elephant gently takes it with its trunk. Everyone smiles in relief. The family packs up and gets into the car. The car starts moving. The wheels sink into a muddy puddle. Dad presses the gas. No movement. Mom tries pushing. A shadow appears behind them. The elephant is back. Everyone's eyes widen. The elephant gently uses its trunk or a rope to pull the car. Mud splashes. The car comes free. The family cheers and claps. The child runs over and gives the elephant more fruit. The elephant nods and happily waves its trunk. The car drives away. Where's the remote? The family sits in front of the TV. Dad presses a button. Nothing happens. He looks at his hand. No remote. Dad looks around the couch. Bluey and Bingo peer at the floor. Mom crosses her arms, thinking. Quick montage. Dad lifts couch cushions. Dust flies. Bluey reaches under the couch, pulls out toys. Bingo flips pillows. Empty. Mom opens drawers. Only spoons and napkins. Mom walks into the kitchen to get water. She opens the fridge. The fridge light turns on. The remote is inside. Mom freezes. Mom walks back holding the remote. The family stares in disbelief. Mom looks at the remote, then back toward the fridge. She gives an embarrassed smile. They sit back on the couch. Dad finally turns on the TV. Mom double checks it. Freeze frame on the family laughing.
Bluey and the Magic Bean. In a quiet backyard, a world of wonder begins with a single golden bean.
Oh!
It's not just a seed. It's a key to a kingdom hidden above the sky.
Wow!
With a little bit of soil and a lot of imagination, the magic begins to grow. Look! The giant beanstalk is stretching its arms toward the sun. Up they go, brave explorers defying gravity. They climb past the laundry clouds and through the misty winds of the backyard breeze. At the top, the giant's footsteps shake the very ground. A massive shadow looms over our heroes. Quick, hide before the king of the clouds finds you. A daring escape. Down they slide, faster than the wind, back to the safety of home. The giant is left behind, but the adventure lives on forever. The Silly Barbershop. Welcome to the world's fanciest salon, where every hairstyle comes with a touch of chaos. Our star stylist, Bluey, is ready for her biggest challenge yet. First, a clip here and a ribbon there. Precision is key. Or maybe just adding as much sparkle as possible. The customer seems impressed. Behold, the cloud scraper style. It's bold, it's tall, and it's definitely something you won't see anywhere else in the neighborhood. Style has its price. Sometimes it's a bit heavy, but a masterpiece is always worth the tumble. Another happy customer at the silly barbershop.
Cleaning the old storage room morning. The back storage room door opens. The whole family stands in front of the room, filled with old boxes, covered items, and light cobwebs. Dad rolls up his sleeves and lifts a heavy box. Mom opens a notebook and quickly draws 3 sections. Keep, throw away, reuse. Sister opens an old box. An old toy car rolls out. Little brother's eyes go wide. The family looks at each other, then smiles. Quick, playful moments. Dad pushes the car. It hits a table leg and bounces back. Mom releases the car. It rolls in circles. Sister and brother fight over controlling it. Bump! Into an empty box. Everyone bursts out laughing. The storage room becomes brighter, cleaner, more open. The family sits down on the storage room floor. All let out a relieved sigh, smiling softly. Sharing living room. 2 kids are playing with their toys. Toys are scattered all over the floor. They start arguing over each toy, pulling back and forth, tense faces. No one wants to give in. Mom walks over, gentle but firm. She takes the toy from the son and gives it to the daughter. The daughter hugs the toy, happier. The son stands still, lowers his head, looking sad. Mom gently pats the son's head and walks away. Nighttime. The bedroom door opens quietly. Mom and Dad step in, carrying a big gift box. They set the box down. Open the lid. Inside is a box full of toys. The kids sit up suddenly, eyes shining. The son completely forgets his anger. Both kids laugh and reach into the box together. Dad puts an arm around Mom. The family sits close together, warm and happy. Where's the car? The family gets into their car. Doors close. Seatbelts click. Everyone looks ready and excited. Inside the supermarket, quick montage. An empty cart rolls in. Items pile up fast. The cart is now overflowing. At the register, the receipt prints and prints and prints. Dad stares at it nervously. Mom nods calmly. Outside the store, the family pushes the heavy cart forward. Dad strains. Mom helps steer. The kids push proudly. They move far, very far, like they're walking home. They stop. Dad looks around. No car. Dad pulls out the car keys. Mom slowly turns and looks back toward the store. The family car sits alone in the parking lot. Back to the family, standing far away. Dad scratches his head, embarrassed. Mom crosses her arms, amused. The kids giggle.
Bluey and the Rainbow Hunter. Suddenly, the sun came out. Bluey pointed outside to the yard, where a giant rainbow was curving. The 2 sisters frantically slipped on their rubber boots and rushed outside. Where does the rainbow end? Follow the colors to find the pot of golden smiles. Our adventure begins right after the rain. Red, orange, yellow, and green. The path is slippery, but the hunters are fast. Is it behind the big tree or hiding under the slide? Look! The colors have led us to a secret spot. At the end of the rainbow, something bright is waiting just for the brave ones. Not gold, but but something much sweeter. Every rainbow hunter knows that the best treasure is a moment shared together. Keep smiling.